Hey guys, how you doing today? I hope everybody's enjoying this beautiful morning, afternoon, whenever you get this. So the other day I told you that I was going to share with you the messages that ayahuasca gave to me, which are also for yourself, because we're all one and we're all in the same body. This might take a second because there's a lot of, messages for us in order to find easier paths to happiness, to find the happiness that we all want on our planet as individuals and as a community, as a collective. So as I said on my last video, referring to my ceremonies, when I go deep into the space that ayahuasca takes me, it's always the realization that, that I am God and you are God and we're all God in this. I don't know if it's a place or if it's everywhere and infinite. It's hard to really understand with my mind, but it's kind of like we're all together in this ball of oneness that's infinite and eternal, but in the physical plane, which is some kind of like matrix reality that us, God, created for ourselves to experience through these individual split up vessels. So basically he created this matrix, the physical plane, for us to experience it. He was the librarian that had read all the books but had not lived them, so now he's living it through us, through all of us. It's kind of like he made the ultimate Zelda role-playing video game for himself, but it's like super real and we don't even remember that we're God, and we're just kind of like lost in it, trying to figure it out, and seeing, if we can find enough clues to solve the puzzle of life and go back to itself, love, oneness, God, which is our ultimate reality. So saying that I'm God sounds very like, holy shit, Chris thinks he's a shit, he thinks he's God. Like, I don't say it from a place of ego, it's like, ooh, I'm God and I'm so special, I'm better than anybody else. No, you are too, and all of us too. We're all equal, we're all it. And it's not about being better or bigger or more powerful than anybody else. It's just a realization of who we are inside. And we can use this knowledge of who we are to empower ourselves, to know that we shouldn't really take the video game too seriously. Of course, we want to try our best to, make points or, do good and advance in the path of beating the video game, which I think is like one of the biggest challenges, is like getting around the mind, which is kind of like the surfboard or interplay. In order to be in this place, you need it in order to like do things and control your body and whatnot, but sometimes that takes over. So we always got to like observe it and make sure that us, the presence inside, just uses it as a tool, which much, gratitude, but not be tricked in any way by the many things that influence us. So yeah, the goal is to just become unconditional love once again. And that's a beautiful game. And we're always, no matter what happens in this realm, we're safe. You can never lose. Even if you die, you don't lose. You just go back to God, everythingness, bliss, forever. And that's definitely not losing. So we all go to heaven. Eventually, we all go to heaven forever. And nobody goes to hell. The only hell we experience is here when we create pain for ourselves. But it's not like a punishment for being bad, and so you gotta be punished. It's just karma, because as we are all one in this ball of everythingness, what you do to others kind of comes back to you in mysterious ways. So yeah, it's important to know the rules and parameters of this world, so that we don't make ourselves suffer, and also not be in fear that we're going to be punished into some hell damnation for all eternity. No, we always get another chance. If we made mistakes, if we were a quote-unquote bad person that did bad things, we will learn through those mistakes in order to get back to the good. So if I can ask you anything, or if he or she or whatever can ask you anything, be good. you know, and don't be good because, you know, of some fear for karma or hell, or because your parents and your schools and your religions and your structures of society have told you that you have to be good, and then you just do it out of some kind of obedience or obligation. Be good because you are good. You know, you're the vibration of love. That's your true reality. That's our true reality. And sometimes we can't vibe from that place, but we all got love in our heart. We all got this heart and love for something. We just got to keep on expanding it and not let all those tricks of the mind get in the way. There's a lot of energies. It's a tricky video game. It's fun. You know, and you know, do good and good things will come back to you. And the more you feel good, the more you can do good to others. So share, you know, sharing is a great thing. Share whatever you can. Share money to the poor, share your time to hear a friend, share a smile to somebody who's sad. Just uplift those who are down. Sadness is a reality, and no one should feel sad. Sadness is a teacher too. It's got lessons, and it helps us want to change things in order to get back to the good. But if we can be there for one another and uplift each other so we don't fall into despair and in difficult cycles of pain, I think that's just, you know, a no-brainer. We should all just do that. I also would like to welcome you all to the jungle, the Amazonia, you know, South America, or wherever you feel resonates with you. But there's just so much life out here. Like everywhere you look around, it's just life growing on rocks, just insects and birds and lizards and water. And it's just so beautiful. It's so inspiring to be reminded what this planet's really about. You know, when we're in our concrete jungles, there's patches of nature, you know, but it's not true, just wild, you know, organic, you know, life growing as it wants to do without, you know, things stopping it. So that's a fountain of life, and it's important for us to come here and connect to it if possible. You know, travel restrictions to Peru have opened up. People can come here now. Qatari Center just opened this week with this dieta that we're doing. You're welcome to join us if that works with what you do or what you can afford. But yeah, make it an intention to just get back to nature and feel life without, you know, electricity and cement and boxes and all these things that are also beautiful. I'm a city person. I love the city, and you know, I'm always going to live in the city. That's my choice. But you gotta come and, you know, connect to Mother Nature. And if you can connect to also to the medicines, you know, to Mother Ayahuasca, and for her to remind you who you really are and the love that you are, the oneness, the expansion, eternity, infinitude that you are, that's just such a gift. That's right there for us to take at any point. You know, we just got to do it and not let not let fear get in the way. And fear's a lie. Why are you fearing things? We're always fearing things that have not happened, people we don't really know. It's always like fear of something that doesn't exist. It's an unnecessary feeling. To some degree in the body, it's good to have fear as an instinctual defense towards the elements. But other than that, we can't live in fear. Like, let's delete that from our being, you know? Like, whenever you have fear, realize and be like, oh yeah, I'm having fear about something that's not happened, and why should I have that negative feeling restricting me, constricting me, making me not do things, etc. So whenever you see the fear come up, just go like switch, like, tick, no thank you, I don't want to have fear, I want to have love, I want to keep on shining and being happy. One of the biggest fears we have is of death. You know, we think that, you know, death is the ultimate destruction of who we are, because we identify ourselves as these bodies on this planet. We identify with a lot of these things that are not really us. These are our encasements, and they're beautiful and I love them. But if this dies, I don't die. I'm eternal. I'm an eternal soul, and I go back to the ball of oneness of God, which is bliss. So it's totally okay to, you know, be sad when our friends, family, beloveds die. You know, it's sad because we will miss them and we want to hang out with them a little bit more, or maybe the circumstances were not favorable. And, you know, once again, sadness is also a teacher that's teaching you different aspects of yourself, you know, to be well-rounded on a variety of ways. But also, let's be really fucking stoked if somebody dies. It's like, wow, they're liberated from this fucking annoying body, and now they're fucking back in the fucking oneness of bliss of the whole universe, enjoying happiness and love forever. Like, how could that be a bad thing? So I'm not saying let's go kill ourselves now. That's not the other thing. Our instinctual human things to keep on living, you know. This life's a gift, and let's enjoy it. But like, really, if we're gonna be alive, let's really live, you know. Let's not live in fear of not living, fear of this and that. Like, let's really fucking take a nice bite out of this gift that was given to us. So yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna turn the page here. It's many pages that I wrote last night when I came back from the ceremony. I couldn't even sleep last night. There was just so much downloads coming through. I'm exhausted, but I gotta capture this with my net. Another recommendation that was given to me / us is let go of attachments. You know, the attachments just bring suffering. We get attached to people, things, our status, our jobs, our money, the place that we live, our beliefs, all these things. We kind of hold on to it to kind of like identify, like, I'm this thing and this gives me worth, and because of this I am something. But you're already something. You're something great, no matter where you live or what you look like or who's with you or what you own or what size your house is. And those are all details, and you got the power to get whatever you want. I'm not saying don't live abundantly, you know, live in the bliss that you deserve, but don't be attached to it, where like we spend half our time like unhappy for what we don't have, instead of just being happy for what we do have. Whatever you have it. Be grateful, be happy, be stoked. And, you know, we always work for more. It's our human nature to always progress and advance and grow. But definitely don't be sad when you're not there. No point in, you know, and, you know, just observe the things in your life that just are not really vibing with you anymore. Like, say if you're in like, you know, a partnership that's just not making you happy anymore, but you're attached to it, you don't want to let them go, you think you can't do without that partner, let it go. If you're in a job that maybe makes you money, but you don't enjoy your job, and then your life is kind of like not enjoyable, let it go. Let's keep on moving, you know, let's keep on progressing. Don't be afraid, don't have fear of what could happen if you let go of something. I think something better could happen. Remember, fear is a lie. So don't fear of an unknown future that could be just really positive. Don't get in the way of that happiness. Now, the law of attraction becomes very obvious on the other side of reality. It's because, once again, everything is everything. And what you vibrate vibrates forth what you're vibrating. So say if I'm vibrating love and happiness and positivity and health, I will be that. And I will continue to be healthy. And I will continue to attract love and all the things that I believe myself to be and I'm putting out there. On the same token, if we're like living in fear, the lie, we're vibrating all these things that we fear, and we're actually attracting these things that we don't want in our life. It's like, oh, I fear this, I fear that. It's actually, well, you're putting energy into it and it's coming closer to you. Don't fear that neither, that power. But you got the power, that's the thing. We're manifestors. That's, you know, once again, we're God in flesh, but we still have magical spiritual powers, may we know it or not. And so be careful with your powers and make sure that you're always like present in the positive vibration as to attract positivity into your life, because you want to be happy, right? I want to be happy, so I want to keep on being optimistic and happy and all these things and bring good things into manifestation. So the future is positive. That's something clear to me, and it's in our hands. I think like either way it's possible, the negative and the positive, but it's like we've been programmed to only think that the negative future is what's happening, you know, like, oh, the environment's going to shit and everybody's just warring with each other, and diseases and this and the other, economic, like all these negative things that, you know, are also our reality. But humans are resilient beings. We can figure things up. We can come up with solutions if we really unite in love and talk to each other and find solutions together and really stop dividing. We can do this, you know, But first of all, we got to believe it's possible, because we don't even believe that the positive future is possible. We're just going to keep on being bummed, and that bummed vibration, it's creating that negative reality in your life and in the world. It's almost like we're all voting with our vibration. So if everybody is voting with the vibration, like, oh, the future is grim, we're kind of bringing it to us. Please don't do that. I don't want a negative future. I want a positive future. So let's all believe in the positive future, you know, where humanity grows up, evolves, becomes wise, treats nature with respect, gets rid of all the corruption in our leaders, etc. There's just so much goodness that this planet could have, but we got to believe that we can do it. You know, we can't just say like, oh, humanities are shitty and will always be shitty, and that's the end of the story. Fuck that. So let's vote for the positive future. Meditate more. You know, like in all this thing of being about like, you know, voting the positive vibration, you got to be aware of how you're thinking. So that you know what you're vibrating, what you're attracting to your life. And for that, it's important to practice. And meditation is basically like going to the gym for your awareness, your consciousness, your presence, where you're just kind of like sitting there and be like, okay, I'm here. I'm aware of being here and of where I'm at, and even what's coming from my mind, and just finding that stillness inside it all. So it's kind of like exercising that muscle of always being you know, aware of how your mind's creeping up, or what people think and how it makes you feel. And then you say like, well, why I'm thinking like that, feeling like this. You know, so let's be aware of these things. Then on the same topic of awareness, be aware of your phone. You know, the phone is something that we all got in our pockets all day long. We pull it up a million times. And make sure the phone is just a tool. The phone's not a negative thing. I'm not gonna like, you know, judge the phone. It's just a tool, and I can do beautiful things. Like right now talking to you and sending this message to thousands of people to spread good vibes. Awesome, you know? Let's make sure we use this phone to spread the good vibe we wanna see in the world. Make sure that the phone doesn't own you, where you're unconsciously always looking through it, not even thinking that you're looking through it, and seeing all these negative things on top of it, you know, like who are you following, what are you looking at, where are you putting your attention, and how is that imprinting into your perception of what reality is. If we see negative things all day long, that's going to convince your mind that things are bad. So be super careful where you put your attention, be aware of all of that, and you know, look for more outlets of positivity, and spread those outlets of positivity for those who don't really know how to reach them. Sadly, the media is always putting not the best code, you know. It seems like they're almost purposely trying to convince us to bring forth the negative future, but I'm not going to make that judgment. On that topic of the phone, I want to remind you that social media, once again, a beautiful tool, but don't get carried away by like the numbers, like, oh, how many followers I have, who liked this, or like how popular I am. That shit doesn't matter. And I fall for it too, you know. And this is like Aya telling to me, like, don't give a fuck about that shit. You know who you are. You know that whoever watches your content, that's perfectly the person who had to listen to it, and it's all good. And never like, oh, I wish it was more, or this and the other, and frustrations and algorithms, whatever it is, be grateful for it. Even if you reach one person, you helped one person, that person's a whole universe in its own, and that's such a blessing, what you've done. So just be grateful, and don't get lost in the ego of like numbers and popularity and all that shit. That's it's unnecessary. Try your best. As you grow up, try to help the world grow up, you know, and all you can do is try your best. Questioning is good. You know, the world, aka our parents, religions, schools, TV, media, society, all has told us what reality is about. And as young kids, we grow up and we kind of believe that that's the way it is. We got programmed hardcore to think that the world's supposed to be a certain thing and we should be a certain way. but we gotta question that shit, you know? It's like, what, really? This is who I am, this is what I'm supposed to be? Like, you gotta start making some questions, and then finding in your heart if that really resonates anymore. And if it doesn't resonate, drop it. You know, be like, actually, this was a little prison they put me in, and this is a little prison they put me in. Let's get rid of all these mental prisons that are not allowing us to, like, be the fucking love that we are. So yeah, definitely listen to your heart. If you can feel your heart and your emotions, but not your flaring emotions, but your true, like, your love, you know, think of love, of somebody you love, and just a love for the world, and, you know, listen to yourself. You got intuition. Intuition is not a woo-woo thing. Intuition is something that's inside us, and we've not been trained to listen to it, but it's a tool to help us. And, you know, it's here to serve you. So, you know, listen to yourself and your instincts. Your instincts are good. Don't think that, you know, like, people are telling you, like, oh, reality's like this, I can scientifically prove it. It's like, well, but I feel something different in my heart. You know, that's truth too. You got your own truth. Honor it. Don't doubt your power. Remember that you're God, you know, you gave yourself this power, and you got to own up to that greatness, you know, don't put yourself down. Enjoy the power that you have. Whatever is your power, everybody's got a power. Use it to serve, not to harm. Be a giver, not a taker. Love your vessel. You know, I am not my body. You know, I'm not even Chris Dyer. This is just like an avatar personality to experience the physical world right now. And the same with you, whatever you are, the shape of your body, your race, it's not really us. It doesn't really define us. But at the same time, this body is a miracle that we can be here and breathe air and look at my eyes and see these mountains around, and I can walk, I can talk, I can think, I can dance, I can sing, I can skateboard, I can jump in the ocean, I can eat food. There's so many things we can do. This is fucking awesome. We never really stop to think how awesome existence really is, because we just kind of like, well, that's what things are. But it's a fucking blessing, and it's beautiful. So also your body, whatever it may be, whatever color, shape, details, hair, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Love it. Cherish it. Be thankful for it. Take care of it. Feed it well, you know, honor it. You know, never judge yourself and be like, oh, I wish I was like this, I wish I was like that. You know, if you want to get in shape, work out and get in shape. You know, that's in your hands. And the things you can't change, fucking accept it. And that's good. And don't let yourself judge you, you know, because you're good. You know, you're good. You're God. You're God and you're good. Me too. Everybody is good. And nobody is bad. Nobody is bad. Never call anybody bad. That's the bad person. No, never do that judgment. Judgment is to the garbage once again. And, you know, it's this, whoever is acting what we consider bad is just in the process of learning how to be good. You know, eventually they'll get it in many lifetimes, and they will also eventually become to God. At the end of the game, we all go back to source. Some people take longer than others. Some people take very difficult paths that might seem easier, but in the end makes it more harm. So just honor everybody's process, send in your blessings with compassion, and don't point fingers. So stop with the judgment, you know? You're not here to judge anybody else. You're here to have compassion for everybody's process, as I said. Don't talk bad about anybody. That's just black magic, you know? If you're like saying bad shit about others, especially people you don't even know, like, oh, I heard Chris Dyer sucks. It's like, you don't even know him, you know? Like, why are you spreading black negative magic, you know? Why are you creating separation between us all? Don't be negative about anybody. Even if you're convinced they're the worst person in the world, once again, they're also God. Don't hate God. Don't hate God in another vessel. And it's not like you've not done any mistakes. Don't shame anybody. That's another kind of judgment. All this shame, like shame you for this and shame you for that. Don't shame anybody. That's another kind of judgment. Fuck shame. Throw shame in the garbage. And don't let anybody shame you. So of course, don't fight it. Just be like, oh, I don't take your shame. Like that's your problem, not mine. In general, just stop caring what other people think. Their judgments, you know? Just don't give a fuck. And that's a hard one for me too, you know? Like as a public person, I care what people think. I want people to like me, you know? I want my friends to like me. It's natural that we want everybody to like us, but I gotta let go. Like my happiness can't come from somebody liking me. My happiness has to come because I like me, because I know I'm good. You know, I know who I am, and that should be it. I don't need like other people to validate, you know, me being liked. At the same time, if they don't like me and they hate me, that shouldn't be a reason for me to be sad about it. It's like, well, that's their perception and that's their choice and that's their own vessel and process, and let it be. Fuck it, you know? Fuck it. There's just so many projections and judgments in this world and so much black magic. We have to be the first ones to stop that cycle, you know? Don't do it unto others, and don't give a fuck when other people do that to you. Another thing I think we should throw into the garbage is guilt. You know, if you feel guilt about anything, don't. It's an unnecessary feeling. Guilt does nothing. You know, guilt for what? What did you do that's so bad? Oh, I did these bad actions, you know, I made some mistakes, or I'm guilty because I'm this certain race, or I'm guilty because I got certain status and others don't. What does that help anybody? That doesn't help you. That doesn't help me, or just doesn't help, you know. It's delete guilt. You know, we're grabbing all these things that shouldn't belong in our minds, all these prisons, all these chains, and just throw them in the garbage. Like imagine it's like a computer and you put it in the recycle bin, and then you empty the recycle bin. And if it ever that little pop-up shows up and is like, hey, here's some guilt, hey, here's some shame, hey, here's some fear, just be like, actually no, I see you, I recognize you, I'm self-aware, and click. No, I don't want to feel that. It doesn't serve me. I'm all love. I'm going to try my best too, you know, it's not easy. It takes a lot of like awareness, and that's why I keep on going back and forth between like the jungle, learning these lessons from Aya, and then going back to the city and like, you know, playing in the environment that's difficult to live from that vibration. But more and more I'm practicing and getting there, and I'm not perfect and I make a million mistakes, but I forgive myself too. So on that note, we are allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to make mistakes. Me too. It's okay. You know, we're allowed to be wrong about anything. We're figuring out a bunch of things. We're going to fuck up a million times, and that's okay. It's all learning in the end. We're all just learning from our mistakes. They're great teachers. Honor them, thank the mistakes. Feel no guilt about it, and forgive yourself. Forgive your mistakes. Forgive the mistakes of others. We all make mistakes, you know. Have compassion. It's not an easy life sometimes. It's intense. So let's just have full compassion for everybody. And I guess the final message that I'd like to pass on is that humanity is waking up. I see you. We're all out there. You know, sometimes we like to imagine like, oh yeah, we're waking up, but most people aren't, and most people are jerks. Once again, you're projecting all this stuff on other people. Let other people be. Everybody's got their own process. We're all on the same bus, going to the same place. We just got different windows and different views. Maybe some are more in the front of the car because they've done more, or the bus because they've seen more, they've done more work. And others maybe in the back, they see less and they still got things to figure out. But we're all on the same bus. There shouldn't be any judgment because we're all going to the same place. So just, you know, allow things to be, and trust the process of our awakening. You know, it's there's a lot of struggles. There's a lot of hardships. It's starting to rain. It's okay. And, you know, we're all just trying to bring balance to the world. You know, I think we all want a balanced world. You know, it's not like we're ever going to eradicate negativity. Negativity is part of the dualistic world. But I feel right now, the world's not in the best place it should be. And we should do efforts to bring it back to the balance we want it to be at. And, you know, the reward's going to be so much better once we get there. Once we get to the balanced world where wisdom is more prevalent, it will be such a better reward because of all the struggles and hard work that we've done, you know, in ourselves first, and then, you know, magnifying and putting it out into the world. So big thanks for your contribution. In that process. Thanks for listening to this. Pass it along if you feel there's some nuggets of something nutritious for the starving masses out there. You know, let's keep on passing on the good vibe. I love you so much. I'm gonna go back to my hut before I get wet. I love you. Have a good one. Blessings.